Hi there, so this is a tidied up version of this morning's 45-minute row-along on the EXR app. Christmas Eve, hence the silly hat. Now this 45-minute row doesn't have a specific warm-up beforehand, but I did ease myself into it if that's something that you want to do as well. And there's also no specific cooldown at the end, but frankly it's me, and I do tend to talk at the end for a while, so you can use that as a cooldown, but just do make sure and cool down after the 45-minute row, okay? Now, this is all done on the EXR app. If you don't have EXR, you've never used it before, and your machine will work with it, then go to exrgame.com to download a free trial. And if you do end up signing up to it, use code RowAlong to get a 10% discount. It's a great app. It's well worth looking at. And of course, you can join me Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock in the morning on the EXR app GMT, apart from Hogmanay, the 31st of December, where we're going to start at 10, so we don't have to get up too early in the morning, so we can spend the rest of our day partying for the new year, all right? Until then, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and enjoy your 45-minute row.
Look how busy the water is today. Look at all the people here tonight. That's a Daily Roth quote if you wish. I'm going to be starting right from the whoever's rowing at the back, I hope, as long as I can see where they are. Hey, someone's sea bear just waved. How do I wave? People keep waving. How do I wave? And then I'm going to kind of gradually speed up. But what I want to do at the same time is I want to compare the distance reading and pace readings, whatever, between using Smart Row and using, because this the monitor that's on this water rower is the stock like A1, the really basic one, that you can't even tell how much water's in the thing. And so I want to kind of take a look at the difference between the two of them, just because there's a point behind that, rather than it just be going, hey, I get the chance to do this, is that I do hear for the row-along videos that I make, oh, you get back on. The row-along videos that I make, I do hear from some people saying how they really struggle down at the low stroke rates. So if I'm saying 20 strokes a minute at 2K plus 18, was that Lewis Hines that's turned up? Oh, hello, Lewis, if that's you. They struggle, and I think it's got something to do with that, with on these kind of basic monitors, the way it calculates it, gives you, like, it's over generous when you're going fast, which then means that if it says that your 2K is like a 140 pace, and then you back off 20 seconds, that might not be enough because it's over egged the pudding for your pace. Maybe you should be down at like 210 or something. So on a water row like that. So that's what I want to test today. All right? Did that make any sense to you? So currently we have 37 people. I have to make a decision. Do I keep the hoodie on or do I take it off? I think I can take it off. I've got 30 seconds to take it off. It's a little bit cold in Scotland today, it must be said. Right, hang on. So hopefully I will warm up nice and quick. Brr. I don't know if you can tell by the sound of my voice, but I've got a little bit of a cold as well, poor me. Okay, so there are 15 seconds to go. Hopefully the A1 monitor won't turn off before we start. 10 seconds to go. You ready for this? There'll be a little bit of a pause, I'm afraid, for you YouTube people. Sorry about that, but 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. Now, I did hit start on that. Yep, I did. Am I moving? Yay! Right. So, I'm just going to hold it down at 2:30-ish. Just to see, and I remember from last week, there was a little bit of an odd start where I went shooting off, and then it took about a minute or so for everyone to kind of settle down into their pace and kind of bunch up on the water. So I'm just going to take it really gentle just to see who else is behind me, if anyone's going to be catching up. I know there's a different view I can do here where I can go wider and see who else is on there, because I said I wanted to row at the back with people, but I want to make sure not to go past, like to go absolutely sky away from them, but looks like I might. I'm going to keep slowing down. I know this is, listen, you row at whatever pace you want to today, okay? Don't bother about trying to keep pace or anything with me. Just you have a nice row. This is really just a nice way to join you all. Right, so where am I? I'm right about 230, I think. So just quickly, we'll do a test. So Smart Row has me, if I try and get a bit more of an even pace here, run about 230. And the A1, yeah, that has me run about 231. So about a second difference down at these really low paces. I can't tell if there are still people behind me or in front of me, however you want to refer to it on rowing. But there we go. Someone's poking up. Who's that coming behind me? Come on. I can't quite see the way I've got the. Oh, sorry. Right, I'll stick to one thing. John Owen. Okay, it's a nice hat. Why don't I have a Christmas hat on when I'm my little avatar? Oh, I had one on in the video, at least sitting here. I'm trying to, right, so as I come forwards, I can just see comments. So there's TT says hi there. CBBDB, BDDD, CBDBDBD is here as well. Right, there are a couple of people still behind me, but I don't know if I'm going to have to basically grind to a... Tell you what, if you are really far behind and you're like, I really don't like how the RowAlong guy is miles ahead of me, which is fine, we all row at our different paces, I'm not saying anything. They do get in touch and kind of say, like, if you feel disappointed because I'm not all the way back with you, do get in touch, because I want to make sure everyone's happy on these rows. Because our pace, I mean, if you're working nice and hard and you're rowing at 3-minute pace right now, that's perfectly fine. Same as if you were rowing nice and hard and you're up at 2 minutes. We're all working within what we can do, especially on a Sunday morning. I mean, to be honest, looking at my heart rate, 118 right now, and you can see the little green light is lit. So I'm firmly in zone 2 right now. So as long as I was to keep a kind of an okay-ish technique in order to be down at this pace, then this is an incredibly effective engine building, kind of blood refining, heart rate strengthening row to do down at this pace. It's really easy to kind of get a little bit over eager rowing this. When you say, I'm going to do a zone 2 row, and then you find you're down at 230 pace, and you're like, hang on, this isn't the most exciting row in the world. But exciting isn't always the best thing to do. Sometimes this kind of row, very easy, is the best thing to do, because it will build your core fitness and it gives you space. I mean, what am I down at? Around about 15 strokes a minute, 16, 15. So this really does give me space to work on my technique, push, then hands away, rock forwards. I can do it at a considered rhythm because I'm rowing so slowly. And this is how you then grind in that good technique so that you have, this is your kind of muscle memory technique, which means that when you do eventually sprint up to, say, 30 strokes a minute or something. Oh, Jay Mundy, you slowed down or you stopped? Yeah, so if you can grind in a good technique at this stroke rate, your muscle memory then says this is how to row, so that when you're sprinting and you have absolutely no capacity for thought, this becomes your default technique. And I see this quite a lot actually. Oh no. What have I disconnected from server? Ah. No, it's EXR I seem to have disconnected from, because I'm still streaming to the old internets. So, oh, there we go. Wonder what happened there. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I see this quite a lot. So I do web chat coaching sessions with people where we do it like over Google Meet. They row and I try and help them with the technique. And it is really interesting when I work with someone to try and improve the technique. And then I say, right, let's take the pace up. And in fact, I tell you what, where are we? 7 minutes in. In fact, yeah, I'm kind of rowing on my own now. So while I'm talking about taking the pace up, I'm just gonna, or I'm not rowing on my own. Who's next to me? Hang on, I'll wait until I see who's next to me. And then I'll speed up. Yeah, so I say to them, right now go up. That's Cheney. Hello, right. Sorry to be rude, but I'm going to increase my pace now. Let's see what. I'm just going to push a little harder with my legs. It's really all I'm doing. Helps the connection through my body feel now like stronger. I kind of just feel that bracing against the stroke because I'm pushing a little harder with my legs. That bracing is just a tiny bit more powerful. And you can see that that's resulted in me going from around about 2:30 pace to 2:15 just by pushing harder with my legs. But it's not just about the push of the legs. You also need to make sure you get that connection from your feet to your hands nice and powerfully. Everyone's gone off into the distance. And that's why when it comes to technique, people talk about that forwards tilt, arms straight at the front, and holding that position as you push your feet into the machine. And that way, the power from your leg drive then goes up through your posterior chain into your hands and into the handle. Whereas if I wasn't connected, I could push and then, it'd be funny if I went faster doing this. Like if I was leaning back here, not connecting, I'm pushing just as hard with my legs. But because I'm not connected, I'm back down at 2:30 pace again. Okay, whereas if by being forwards, I now feel the weight of the stroke. I'm not going to go down the technique rabbit hole today, if that's all right. I know it means I'm on a bit of a meandering chat. I'm kind of all over the place. Hey, got a comment from Mike Casey. Oh, is it she or she? What's he saying? Can't quite see it. This is good morning, late again. I'm liking this. I'm liking how many familiar names, even from last week's row, I'm now seeing. I'm on a mission right now to catch up. S. Hollins and M. Harat. I'm not wanting to go. I could really kind of over-egg it here to try and catch them, and then, like I said, with a little bit of a head cold, that would probably ruin me, and we're only 10 minutes in. So we'll do another check on comparing monitors as we get under here. So, Smart Row 2345, A1 monitor 2338, so very close. still. So down at the low rates, for those that care about this stuff, it definitely looks as though Smart Row and the A1 are quite comparable. I doubt I'm going to get quite into a sprinting pace today, but we'll see the outcome. I mean, I'm not entirely surprised by the low rate similarity, because I've done low rates doing it before, they've been similar. But like if I do a 100-meter time trial, it's like a 2-second difference between the two. Oh, it's interesting, on YouTube I've literally only just passed and started talking about the numbers on the monitors. Sorry for the delay with YouTube, but it's just the amount of time to send. There we go. I'm going to hang out with S. Hollands and M. Herat for a while. Don't know what pace they're at, but oh, who's coming up behind me? I wonder if that's Mike trying to catch up. Don't know why I think it would be him. I was right. Hey man, how are you? I'm sorry, that was probably terribly culturally insensitive. Saw a green boat come up, and the first thing I thought was, you must be Irish. Sorry about that. Feel like you could just type a "Okay, the new" comment back to me. Right, hopefully you're going to keep on ploughing through. Done a sterling job just catching up. So who's in the fog ahead of us? I think I can see L. Hines, which I do know a Lewis Hines, so it could be him. But of course, there are other people with that name. I wonder whether it would be better for me just to talk technique, because my brain seems to be all over the place today. I was about to tell you a Christmas joke. Shall I? I might as well. So, small boy on Christmas morning says to his dad, "Daddy, I heard the reindeer last night and they had bells. Why do reindeer have bells?" And the dad says, "Well, you know how Fluffy, our cat, we have a bell round its neck to stop it chasing birds." The boy says, "Yes, Daddy." And Daddy says, "Well, for reindeer, it's the same, but for children." I thought it was quite funny. I heard that one this morning. Oh, I've eased off. I'm going to catch up to these guys again. Now, if you're watching this on the live stream on YouTube, don't be put off by the frame rate that you're seeing for EXR. It is as smooth as a mirror. Smooth as a baby's bum, that's what I was going to say, and I thought against it, but I'm going to say no, smooth as a baby's bum. We'll level up. I just hit level 14. So on my iPad, it is very smooth, but by the time that goes into my Mac, and then whatever magic happens through the OBS software to stream this live, I think it then reduces the frame rate. Although I seem to be quite smooth. I'm looking at it right now. Hey, I'm kind of smooth. It must be because I use QuickTime to capture the output of my iPad. So maybe it's that that's causing the problem. Or maybe it's all perfectly fine. on YouTube. Here we go, we're steadily catching up to the group in front. So, I think I started saying something about this before, but I'll finish my thought. I do like this version of the water rower. I've actually got two water rowers. I've got this and the performance model, which has, well, mine came with the smart row pulley built into it, which I assume is what calls it the performance option. But the performance option also has a built-in mount for an iPad or your phone or whatever to go on. Whereas this basic monorail version doesn't have a mount, which is why you can see my iPad and the laptop sitting on my gym bench next to me. Hopefully, I was in touch with Lucian Deppold, the guy on Etsy who makes mounts for Concept 2s. And I said to him that I was needing a mount for this one. You never know. Maybe he'll get his wee 3D printer out. But in terms of the machine itself, I actually, as much as I said this is a basic one, I prefer rowing on this version compared to the performance one. And the reason is just the foot placement. You're kind of, on the performance one, your feet are quite close together because it's a dual rail system and your feet go in between those two rails. Whereas on this monorail, your feet go either side it, which allows them to be slightly wider. And for me anyway, that makes it a lot more comfortable to row. And that's really the only, well, actually I tell a lie. The seat, when you compare the seat on this one, the A1, it's a lot more comfortable than the one on the performance option. In fact, I made a video talking about that, how one fix is to flip the seat round on the performance model in order to put the raised lip at the back instead of the front. Am I catching people? I think I am. I'm still just going kind of between 206 and 210 pace. Like I said, I'm not in any rush. I'm quite happy to slowly catchy monkey, if I ever do. But M. Buck and Mike, both at the front. Oh, more comments. Can't read them. What does that say? Oh, what does it say? Loon. Sorry, I kept on saying Lewis, didn't I? So it is Loon. Sorry, Loon. I think I've even called you Lewis on the screen before. I apologise. It's like when people call me Stevenson. And I'm like, there you are. Did you stop? Or is that because you stopped to type in a comment? Catch up, Loon, catch up. Yeah, when people call me Stevenson instead of Steventon, I'm like, come on, it's in front of you, get it right. So I apologise, Loon. Patrick said something. Good morning. I have got a question. Oh, hang on. He's got a question. I checked the EXR webpage and their supported rower machines. Unfortunately, my basic rower isn't on there. Do you know if it still works? Right, hang on. Depends. So, hang on, I'm just gonna make up the time I just stopped for. Well, this is us turning round. So, EXR works predominantly with Bluetooth connections. Concept 2s can connect via cable, but most machines, like this water rower, connect via Bluetooth. So, that's the first thing to check on your water rower. Do you have a Bluetooth output on it? And if you do, there's a good chance EXR would see it. I mean, they tend to accept pretty much every Bluetooth protocol that's out there, like the standard Bluetooth and then the FTMS as well. But if you don't have Bluetooth out on your water rower, you have a couple of options. First one is to look at whether there is just a upgrade that you can buy for the monitor. For instance, this one that came with the standard A1 module. I could have upgraded to the S4 with Bluetooth, and that would have done it. Or, like I did do, I could upgrade it using the Smart Row pulley. I'm catching that. I'm down at kind of 205 pace in order to catch these folks. What am to learn? Anyway, so that's what I would investigate next. There we go. I'm going to ease off a bit. If you can't upgrade the monitor itself to output Bluetooth, then possibly you could install the Smart Row pulley. I mean, they are designed to work with the standard, like genuine, let's call them, branded water rowers. But I've seen a few people create different kind of brackets and things in order for it to work on whatever machine, water rower they're using. So it's definitely a rabbit hole that you can go down to see if you can get Smart Row working, or let them do the hunting. The Smart Row people are really helpful, and in many ways their goal is to try and kind of get Smart Row out there into as many machines as possible. So they may help when you tell them what one you're using, advise how you could fit it. Tell them I sent you. And they'll be like, oh, him again. Because tell you the one, well, there are many values to the Smart Row module, and I'm going to keep calling it a module instead of a pulley, I'm sorry. Not only does it allow you to connect to EXR, but the app itself also gives you a force curve. If you don't know what a force curve is, it's basically a graph that goes up and down to show you how you're putting pace into the machine. And I can see clearly on this graph that I'm powering in at the front, but then, well, because what it's doing is it's going up nice and smoothly. I'm climbing a sharp mountain, but instead of being a perfect parabola, is that right? Like an upside down U shape, it's going up sharply but then down smoothly. And what that means is that I'm powering in from my legs, but then I'm not adding in any, or I'm not adding in an equivalent amount of backswing and arm pull. I've got what I'd call a soggy technique at the back of the stroke here. And so if I think about push, swing, pull, instantly push, swing, pull, that's fixed it. And I can feel, yeah, that's it now in a lovely parabola. And I can feel the connection to the stroke is a lot longer. I can feel I'm putting force all the way, like an equal force, all the way to the back of the stroke, rather than it just being top loaded from the leg drive. What I might do, I'm not going to stop now to do a screen record of my phone. I mean, I suppose I could always, next time I could include this in the stream, but I don't think that'd be very exciting. But I'll do a capture of like before and after of my curve when I'm kind of being soggy at the back, and then when I'm being powerful into the back. And I seem to have straight in front of me is my ghost from the last time I rode this section. You can see the slightly kind of white outline rower. But to the right, there's someone in blue. I don't know who that is. What ghost that would be. Is that like just a pace boat? I don't know. So, kind of mid-pack now, aren't I, really? Got a little leaderboard coming up as well. Hey, Mike. If there's anyone else... Oh, there's Mike again. What's he saying? Got booked. Got what? Booted out. Oh, you're back though. Charlie Simpson. What are you saying? Blue is a bot. Random. Ah. Thank you, Charlie Simpson. Charlie Simpson is very much the expert on group rows and things. I am just faking it. I'm making this stuff up as I go. Truth be told, I tend to use EXR more as a solo distraction rather than doing lots of group rows, which is one of the reasons why I was really interested in setting these up on Sunday mornings, is it gives me a reason to take part in these. What's this? Charlie just said, I'm doing great. Keep up the good work. He runs his own group rows. So keep an eye out for them. Because that is, if you go to Or if you haven't already, go to exrgame.com/events, and you'll see the variety of group rows that are available on this app. Because, like I say, I tend to, like if I'm just doing a 30-minute long slow row, or even like an hour long slow row, I'll load this app up just to give me a visual distraction. I'll put on a podcast. I tend to listen to a podcast called Stuff You Should Know most of the time. It's worth checking out if you haven't ever heard of it. Yeah, and so I'll have EXR running just to keep me visually interested while I'm rowing. And it works on Concept 2, water rowers, and the RP3. So it's a good constant. And I'm not really a fan of watching Netflix or anything like that while I row. I feel kind of, once I get too invested in what I'm watching, I tend to forget about the rowing part, and I like gradually slow down, and my technique falls over the place. So I'm not a fan, really. Of course, there is that RowAlong guy on YouTube, but he talks to, do you know, somebody last night, I was having my dinner and watching Now You See Me Too with the kids, and Julie as well. And I was just idly kind of flicking through your phone. You know how nobody just sits down and watches things anymore. You have to have your phone in your hand as well. Well, certainly, well, I've seen Now You See Me Too before. And it's entertaining enough, but it's not, it's no Shawshank Redemption in terms of film quality. Even though it does have Morgan Freeman in jail. I think that's why I linked the two of them together. Anyway, sorry. Point of my story, John, come on. We've only got 10 minutes left of today's row, get on with it. Someone commented on one of my RowAlong workouts, something along the lines of, this would have been a much better workout if the trainer didn't talk all the time. I find that hilarious, to be honest. A little bit kind of like, oh, because you know what? You put yourself out there on any kind of social media, you're kind of hoping people are enjoying what you're doing. And I've got to say, it's only really not even 1% of comments I get are negative. But like going to TripAdvisor and checking out a hotel, you always aim for the negative comments. It's like you hit the negative ones and suddenly you're like, oh, they didn't like the quality of the bed. Even though 400 comments before have said the beds are comfortable. Anyway, so don't worry, I'll survive one negative comment, especially as being I then instantly went onto my Facebook group, posted it, and loads of people have massaged my ego by saying how they enjoy my talking. And you know, listen, I don't have any delusions that when I'm having a chat like today's, that I'm particularly interesting or entertaining. However, what I do hope is much like the podcast idea when rowing, just having my voice in your ear, chatting away about stuff, is enough of a kind of brain distraction. It's like white noise. Of course, there's the excitement of what's he going to say next. I've got no idea what I'm going to say next. So you're along for the ride with me on that one. Yeah, so, but this is, I mean, there's other guys and girls that do what I do, post workouts and ask people to do it alongside them. But I figure my USP is that I talk the whole way through, and that I'm not, even though I can get a little bit caught up in technique sometimes, I'm not a platitudes kind of rower. I don't spend the whole 45 minutes going, come on, you can do this, you're amazing, push, you've got this, you're incredible. Because, tell you what, I've been in those classes before, mostly spin classes to be honest, when somebody is just yelling numbers at you and then telling you how amazing you are. And they're sitting in front of you on their bike and they still don't know how you're feeling. So if I was to make a YouTube video telling you how amazing you are while you're rowing, what's the point in that? And like I say, there's other people that do that, and it's like the Apple Fitness app, trainers on that are all very perky and happy and telling you how amazing you are. The Peloton app, I'm sorry, I know it sounds like I'm just down on it because I'm now making videos for Avalon, which is very similar in concept. But the Peloton stuff, oh, it just got irritating. I was like, shut up. And that's not to say I don't recognize that quite a lot of people at home watching these are saying, shut up to me. But you can mute me, put on some music, just watch me going backwards and forwards, just do the sessions as I tell you to. You don't have to listen to me, but on the Peloton platform, it's kind of slightly pointless if you bought that machine and you're paying the subscription to not actually listen to what they're saying. Because remember, everything I do is free. Don't have to pay for the joy of listening to my rubbish. Oh, hang on. I'm going to speed up a bit, catch up with Mike and Kay Klett and R. Bauhofer. So again, just in case you're interested, I'm pushing harder with the legs here, which not only, hang on, first things first, which not only means more power into the machine, it's also increased my stroke rate. So I'm adding power, but also rowing, 5 or 6, there we go, caught up. 5 or 6 strokes per minute faster. So more strokes, more power equals more speed. Oh, another comment. Let's say Monkey? Monkey Allen. Oh, get that power up again. So, hang on, Monkey Allen, I'll read yours in a second. Just want to finish off that thought. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off, right? I'm going to let these guys go away from me. And then I'm going to do a short kind of sprint to catch them. And I'll tell you the difference in pace. You'll see on screen what the smart row is reading. Okay, so right now, smart row is 225, 227. Water rower, 222. In fact, if I read it out, you can see on screen. So 225 pace right now, 219 on the A1, 227. That's a huge slip that seems to have come in. Now that I'm up, remember I was down at 15 strokes before when it was close. So I'm gonna really power in to the machine. So stroke rate 28, lots of power. EXR's reading 150 pace. The A1, 144. And so that's exactly what I was talking about. I'm now down at 140, A1, 145. Get around this corner, catch up with them again. Hey, what's happened? Why have I stopped? There we go. Right. That made it look as though I was trying to race to a finish, didn't it? Sorry about that. So, what I was saying is that the faster you go, let's say, the bigger the difference between smart row, which is properly scientifically calculated. They've done a whole bunch of tests. It's basically just a force meter. And the A1, which all it's doing is calculating the turns of the blades inside the drum. It doesn't know how much water I'm fighting against. And although at lower rates and lower power, they seem close, that 5-second difference. Oh, I've finished. I'm too busy talking. Right, I can get to, anyway, that 5-second difference, that then becomes the problem I was talking about with people using a 2K pace on a A1 version of a water rower to then base their training off, because that was 5 seconds artificially fast. So you then add on 20 seconds for like a 2K plus 20 row, and you're going to be rowing 5 seconds too fast at that 2K plus 20, which is going to put you up into zone 3 easily because you're having to go too fast. So I guess the simplest thing to do is do a 2K on, if you've got the A1 simple monitor on a water rower, and then add 5 seconds back to it, at least 5 seconds, and then use that as your 2K training pace, I guess, until it gets closer to me saying like row at 2K pace, at which point you then want to row at the pace you got on your monitor. Anyway, right, the live stream's still going. Right, so what did Monkey Allen say? Hopefully I'll be able to watch this after the live stream. Didn't realize there would be one today. Oh, I'm sorry, Monkey Allen. Yeah, the plan is that we do it every Sunday morning. I'm going to speak to the EXR people about putting one on next Sunday as well, although I might actually change it to 10 o'clock next Sunday, just because it's Hogmanay. And I don't want to be getting up super early if I'm going to be going out and partying at night for New Year's Eve. Keep an eye out. Go to exrgame.com/events to see all the list of all the group rows that are out there. Remember my Facebook RowAlong group. I'll be posting stuff in there, and once we know when it happens, I'll do the same that I did this week, where I'll set up the live stream on YouTube in a kind of like starting in 6 days, that kind of thing. So it'll be there for you to watch, to kind of see, all right, that's when it happens. And that's it. So it's Christmas Eve. Oh, threw my hat away. Hang on. Oh, hang on. If I'm going to say goodbye, I need to be wearing this. So, there we are. There we go. Hi. It's Christmas Eve. So I hope you all have a great day. Whether you're celebrating Christmas or you have your own way to celebrate this time of the year, or maybe you celebrate nothing, then I really hope that you at least get a holiday, okay? If nothing else, you get time off and can spend time with family, or however it is that you prefer to spend these kind of times. For me, I do the Christmas thing. Family are coming around. We're going to open presents and things, but I'm not saying that's how everyone has to celebrate it. So however you spend your upcoming days, please enjoy them. Please make sure that you look after yourselves. That's the most important part. Do get in touch and let me know whether you enjoyed these rows and things, because obviously I love hearing from people, even the ones that say that they don't like when I talk. And I'll, for those that do celebrate Christmas, have a fantastic Christmas day tomorrow, or whatever you're celebrating, have a fantastic celebration for whatever you're celebrating. And I will see you, with any luck, on New Year's Eve, Hogmanay, and here in Scotland we call it Hogmanay, you know, where we then just go out, eat lots, get drunk, and have a party. Not that I'm going to do, I'm not going to get drunk, but yeah. So thank you so much for joining me with this. I have separation anxiety, don't I? I'm finding it really hard to say goodbye, so I'm just going to have to say goodbye. And then we get that awkward part where I start clicking buttons, but you can still see me on screen while I'm doing end stream and stuff. So I'm going to slowly wind to the front of the computer now. No, I've got a couple more. Right, quickly. Merry Christmas to everyone. Oh, see you next week from TT. Merry Christmas all from Matthew Sylvester, and Merry Christmas everyone, and thank you for this, John. Oh, let's end on that. Thank you so much, everybody. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in the next row, or one of the other ones I've got up here on the RowAlong channel. Until then, take care. Be well. Bye-bye.